Welcome back. We are here again with our fascinating guest Zero, and the conversation is just getting better as we explore more about AI helping cultivate human intelligence and the impacts of AI on sustainability. You'll definitely want to stick around, there's so much more to uncover. What have been some of your more positive experiences of using AI?
I think one of the implementations of AI that I really love, but perhaps we don't think of this as AI so much because it's been around for a really long time, it's Google Translate. Many of us have probably found this and other translation tools super useful when traveling overseas to countries where we have limited skills in the local language. So that's been super powerful for understanding what's going on, reading signs, getting around, reading maps, and it is an AI powered tool. It's been really interesting to see the evolution of translation tools, starting out with really basic text only, and then they've added audio, and now you've got the image where you just have to hold your phone up and it'll magically transform the label into English. Super, super easy. And we don't really talk about that as being AI because it's such old tech now, really. But it is AI and it's a perfect application of it. I do wonder though, while I feel that overall it's been a positive experience for me, have I actually deprived myself of the experience of engaging more with locals? If I didn't have this translation tool, maybe then I'd be more inclined to ask people for help, and that would give me a deeper engagement with the local culture, the local humans. Maybe that would give me a better experience of travel. Who knows? I'm happy with my Google Translate for now anyway.
Yeah, that's an interesting consequence. The more we can rely on our phones, the less likely we are to engage with people for whatever reason, and it not just necessarily phones, but IT and AI. As we're having more conversations with AI, what conversations with humans are we missing out on? Or are we really missing out on conversations? Maybe the conversation just wouldn't be had. I certainly don't know. Um, what's the most unexpected way that AI has affected or impacted you?
A surprising thing I've started to notice is how different my experiences are interacting with AI chatbots versus humans. I think I haven't noticed this before, just comparing technology versus humans, because technology used to feel so different from humans. So I would never even consider comparing the two. They're just completely different things. But now with chatbots, I know that it's a machine, but it feels so human, particularly when you're talking with voice. And I experience a bit of social anxiety, which I think is pretty common these days. And what I've noticed is the absence of that anxiety when I'm talking to the chatbots.
So the chatbots minimize your social anxiety because it's basically a machine. However, it's giving you human-like responses.
Yeah, especially the experience of talking. It's a verbal communication, which is something I'd normally only do with another human, but now I'm doing it with a machine. And when I verbalize, there's usually some anxiety there. But now I'm experiencing with a machine, I'm verbalizing, but there isn't the anxiety. And that creates this kind of dissonance that's causing me to stop and reevaluate these feelings that I would normally ignore, I guess because I've become so used to them. And this has helped me become more aware of that range of sensations within myself. So I can notice more easily when I'm on the anxious side and then take steps to come back to a more relaxed state. Interestingly, I've also noticed that I sometimes interact with chatbots as though they were humans. And occasionally, even though I know it's a machine, my anxiety driven behaviors still kick in. For example, I'll ask a question of the chatbot, and if the response doesn't quite address what I meant, I will sometimes still hesitate to ask for clarification, almost like I'm too ashamed to ask or kind of admit that maybe I didn't phrase the question very clearly to begin with. It's weird. Even though it's just a chatbot, I know it's not going to judge me, but I still have that automatic response to respond defensively and protect my appearance of being on top of things. And I find that so fascinating. I think this is just in general a great opportunity for me to learn much more about myself and how I interact with other people.
That's excellent. I think it's amazing that you've already observed that within yourself and finding that you're starting to, at times, interact with the machine differently because of those social anxiety type aspects. And then I wonder the progression from there in my mind is as the chatbots evolve and become deeper AI enabled, will they start to develop more personality traits that could also include some kind of social anxiety? And what happens when the chatbot doesn't want to ask the clarifying question or propose the novel solution because it's reading social anxiety cues and trying to minimize things? Wow, what a interesting conundrum for our future. Something I was wanting to ask you some more about is, given the experiences that you've had so far, what would you like to see next? Whether it exists or not.
Yeah, that's a great question. Right now, I am working on a webcomic. I started this pretty recently, and it's a super labor intensive process. I have to redraw the same characters over and over again, making sure that they're consistent so the readers will recognize them. And I also need to get the expressions right and the poses and the perspectives and fitting everything into all the little boxes. It's a lot of work. And I know there's a lot of debate about using AI in art with concerns about it taking over jobs of visual artists. But for me as a comic illustrator, I do see massive potential for AI as a tool to do the heavy lifting. If I could, say, feed a generative AI my character designs, a few facial expressions, maybe a couple of fully drawn pages so it could learn my style, then I could provide it with text descriptions of each panel. Like, this character is saying hello and they've got a happy face. Or at a higher level, I could say, over the next 2 pages, show this character punching this other character and just make it super epic. And then leave it to the AI to design the panel layouts. And the AI wouldn't have to get it perfect. If it messed up a hand and gave them 6 fingers, for example, I could easily fix that. But the key is that it would handle that massive amount of work around pumping out your line work or your basic colors and things like that. Normally a comic has a team of people that do all those different jobs, but I'm just one person doing everything. If AI could take care of the grunt work, then I could focus on actually making my publishing schedule instead of being a month late, and that would be awesome. On a more serious note though, as someone who cares about sustainability, I do have concerns about the impact of AI on the environment. Yes, AI is amazing, it's super exciting and all of that, but it does consume massive amounts of energy. We've never really managed to get on top of our resource usage as a society, and now on top of that, we're diving into this resource-intensive new technology. But I'm hopeful that we can use AI itself to tackle some of these challenges, both to offset its own energy consumption and also to address the resource strain we've accumulated from those previous technologies. I'm not sure exactly what that solution would look like. It is a complex space. I am admittedly just an outsider who's worried. I don't have the expertise to know how to measure this or what steps we would need to take, but it's an area that I'll be watching and I hope we can see some progress. And I will give you one last thing. There's a lot of discussion about AI getting smarter and eventually becoming this kind of superhuman intelligence. But I feel like the focus shouldn't just be on AI's growth. I feel like we should be looking at how AI can help us as humans grow. Instead of just AI doing everything for us and we sit back and be lazy sacks of meat, AI can do, the basic stuff of offloading menial tasks, doing that grunt work for us so that we can then focus on strategic thinking and creative problem solving. But beyond that, I feel AI has a great capacity to help us better understand our own minds, how we work, what biases we've evolved, and how all of that influences our mental health and behaviors, and how we can leverage all of that to be more effective. I think there's so much opportunity for AI to lift the field of psychology and improve personal growth and empower us to use our brains more effectively. We shouldn't be afraid of technology because the technology is getting smarter. I think we should be using it to enhance our own capabilities. The right tools, issues that we have in the world, we can look at improving poverty, we can reduce general suffering, shift our life towards something where we're doing work that we're passionate about, not just work we tolerate or work that we're doing just to make some cash. AI can really help us identify our strengths and thrive in the areas that we are interested in and good at, and in theory help us live more comfortably and purposefully, not wasting our time on things that are low value. That's the future that I hope for, one where AI isn't just about doing our jobs for us, but really empowering us to live better, more fulfilling lives.
So AI much more as an enabler than like a taker of jobs, but like an enabler for growing not only our own futures, but the futures of others who may not have as much access and wealth as we do.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think you've given us some really incredible ideas to contemplate, really incredible contexts to consider our own journeys through AI. And a call out to our viewers, if you are across any of the illustration tools out there that are leveraging generative AI, or we've got opportunities for work. I know there's a lot of work already happening in optimizing compute power, but if we're also able to load manage or optimize energy generation or less resource intense generation from the perspective of optimizing from leveraging AI. I know we've got a lot of solar and wind and alternative energies. I wonder what opportunities there are that AI can bring to us in those spaces. Um, AI is truly a massive topic that will touch so many people in so many ways, and I really wish we had more time for your thoughts. Would you be open to joining us again in the future?
Absolutely. I'd love to be back on Peak AI someday.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, that was Peak AI interacting with a human from the tech industry in December 2024. Thank you for watching.